It's always I try to bet on other riders and horses and not just ride my own horse. So yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I think we're all gonna hit you up after this for some up and coming investment opportunities in those areas. At my 6 o'clock on the screen, we've got
It's definitely the one commodity or currency that all of us lack. I don't care how many Bitcoins, how many Ethereum, how many Solana, how many whatever you have. That's something that, like, whether you're Elon Musk, whether you're whoever, time is in short supply. So you have to kind of make everything very efficient. I was going to say that for me, the best case scenario I've seen right now, but it's also sadly with the worst case, is that with the war in Ukraine, one of my friends actually was, actually a bunch were involved in setting up the Ukraine DAO, as well as the Ukrainian relief NFTs. I bought several and I was like, airdropping it to friends and they were buying. But within the first 30 seconds of the UKRRL 3F, you guys can still see it in OpenSea, but basically they were able to raise 3 million within 30 seconds because it's so efficient. Because nowadays I think a lot of because my first exit was a massive e-commerce exit, and then the founders of that company, my exit was 10 years ago when I set up my family office and started investing in other investors as well as in founders. And what I found is that that company, actually a couple of my investment committee, they went on to do the ICO and start the company crypto.com. And then for me, one of the most radical things I've seen now in the gaming, and also the another best case scenario, the gaming and the metaverse and the intersection of NFT space, is another portfolio company for us, which is called All of X. Animoca, which we invested in and we're good friends with and co-investors, and they had put me on the board of advisors 4 years ago for this company. And it was basically during the pandemic, everyone's locked down, everyone told me I was really silly to get involved with this company. And then lo and behold, the pandemic happened. They started selling so many of these workout hardware mirrors. All my trainers, we were just having them stream there. And then now basically what they've done after the IPO last year and the ICO this year is that they're in games where people are doing play to earn tokens. You work out and you get token. So I think, what better way to incentivize people to also take care of their health and become very smart, conscious consumers and users of digital currency, right? So I just want to present one sort of, with ramifications, and the other one with sort of use cases for all of us. So, yeah.
Yes, that's great.
In particular, I collected that did really well. They did about 100 million in sales on OpenSea. It was the Zipsy collection. This is the one that I got for myself. That they chose. Yeah, but then I actually even dressed up like my NFT. Just wanted to be able to see, because I was so passionate, because they actually, so the creator of this, they did so many sales in OpenSea. She went around and made a big donation to women and children, because there was an organization that benefited her growing up. She's a famous illustrator in Korea called Zipsy. And almost 1 million followers now on her Instagram. And then the other thing she did is that she partnered up with Pussy Riot and made sure, because a lot of what you just said, the blockchain is very transparent. So if you're going to take out the community DAO, if everyone votes and says okay, we're transferring 30 ETH over here to this cause, people can see it. Same with the fact that the Ukrainian government said, this is our Bitcoin account. This is our Ethereum account. So there's no messing with it, and it just goes directly there. And then same with other organizations, because blockchain does provide more transparency. So thank you for mentioning all those important aspects of NFTs are good, as well as Web3 investments, and as a force for good, accelerating the adoption of fintech for underbanked as well as those with no basic access. Really want to partner with Andy on some things. I'm a long-term Lane Crawford VIP. I had 3 VIP accounts because I had different numbers, and love. I'm based in Hong Kong. Yeah, no, but so basically, that particular one. I had the headphones. I actually had these cat headphones, and I dressed up as it. But
wow, look at that!
Right, that's why I dressed up as the NFT. But I actually want to say there was actually another one I've collected, and they actually also supported me a lot. Was the Mavion collection. Even Gwyneth Paltrow. I was actually on a call with her last night about another co-investment. But the Mavion, basically, these are Mavions the things you see that are the accessories they have, they already partnered with artisans all over the world, and basically you get 1% of the sales that they have whenever it's used in the metaverse as well as in the real world. So I think it's very interesting when you have those licensing and royalty fees built in. I'll give you guys a sneak preview, but I'm actually launching my own NFT with an artist with real jewelry. I've actually been designing it myself. I was going to wear it with some of my jewelry. Actually, you can see one of the rings I've designed here. But one of the things I think is really important is that what you highlighted just now, Avi, is that if someone, for example, has that coveted accessory, and the fact they're in limited quantities, people know, like, not only you have like a limited NFT, but you have that limited physical item, and it's your passport to like maybe real life exclusive events as well as real life events on the metaverse. So basically, the use case is that you can tie it in with other brands and say like, look, my bracelet is from Hermes, my watch is from Coram, my other bracelet is from Cartier. This is from Jennifer Cheng Lo collection. But there's a way to like basically not just accessorize and have your identity in the metaverse. Like people really, really want to customize and feel like they can traverse like digital and everything. But the other thing is that it's going to empower a lot of brands who embrace this transformation and realize there's a linkage and a level of customization you can have. Because I'm going to be doing a very limited drop, and then after that there'll be another iteration. And if you followed other NFTs, some of them I also have like crypto chicks. They also have accessories as well as World of Women. Let me get my World of Women. I have a few World of Women. This is one of mine. She's wearing an astronaut suit.
That's expensive, though.
That's what?
That's expensive, though.
If you get in earlier, you have alpha or your connections. It's a little bit less. But then, the current one I have on my OpenSea, which is kind of fully doxed, is you can actually see it. And then I think the other thing that's very exciting is that if you have the holders be able to have use rights, maybe not the IP rights, but you can see Eva Longoria has put hers on her sweatshirt, and then it basically turns everyone into a walking billboard as well as a brand. Yeah. So with that, I'm going to pass over to Andy because I think he's at the intersection of all these luxury brands, everyone just clamoring to get into Web3. And then we'll probably have to talk to Daniel after this, Daniel after this too, about how we can, integrate into his platform and get a lot of distro. And then I'll make a lot of every connections after this to all of you guys to just, all of our projects go to the moon.
Everyone sells every time.
So in terms of
perhaps something for the post-pandemic world.
Exactly.
So in terms of climate change, we've actually, it's very funny because a lot of our investments, I was earlier mentioning, I feel like they got accelerated by the pandemic by 5 years or more. Because a lot of times we're making these early investments and we're saying like, oh, okay, let's wait and see 5 to 7 years or longer. We'll have to go. And then it was actually because of what happened, we had this collective black swan event. Everybody was just kind of like ratcheting forward into the future. So one of the companies we invested in was a pre-seed. Then we topped up in the seed, and then Deloitte was the lead investor, put $4 million. It was a climate change company, Climate X, and they have an algorithm to like calculate. They're working with a meteorologist and everything to calculate exactly what will happen from a carbon point of view. So I feel like the future is already on us. We just have to kind of decide how to put all those pieces together, right? One of our other investments, Green Common, Omnipork, they are like alternative, like plant protein and everything, right? So, I mean, and the fact that we're all trying to decide, like right now, like one of the things I look at with an NFT project or just anything is I look at that roadmap and say like, okay, do these people have a track record of giving back? Do they have a track record of like, supporting the causes? Or, I'm sure Danielle would appreciate this. Are they a slow rug, right? I mean, there has to be like a reason. Like a lot of people now are so impact focused. It has to help someone. It is the future. Like that, it's not enough anymore to be just an entrepreneur, an investor, or creator. You also have to be community builder. And the key, like NFTs are just the tip of the iceberg because they're just the tip where they're the passport into more communities, into more metaverses. It's huge. And I think one of the things that people are not realizing, but a lot of us are now, we are the last generation that has basically achieved immortality on that blockchain. All of us, no matter what we do, we have a footprint left behind, some kind of impact for it. Like later on, my kids or when their kids are like looking up for evidence that we existed, they're going to find it. It's everywhere, So we kind of have already immortalized ourselves in the blockchain, in the metaverse. So I find that very profound.
Yeah.